Well, hello. I'm Dr. Dainty Jones. I serve as apostle of the house that Dignity Built Ministries, which is powered by the Dignity and Direction Group. And we expose resources for education, employment, entrepreneurship, and civic engagement. Today, let's focus on entrepreneurship. All right. Well, it's actually hybrid. It's employment towards entrepreneurship. All right. So today's webinar is called Side Hustles, Founder Boom, and AI Resources. Okay. So I want to let you know I have this available as a PDF if you want to purchase and keep this for yourself. You can find it on my Linktree account. And it is, and forgive me, it hadn't updated, but it is here. It is here for your purchase if you so choose to purchase it. Since two-thirds of us are visual learners, you may want to take time and look at all of the words. Now, there is a lot to go over today. Um, I'm not going to take a break. I'm just going to barrel through, but you can always take a break, and let me give you some hints on when you can break. I'm going to show you 50 different job possibilities, side hustles for people 55 and older. All right. Most of the ministry members that we serve are that age. And so I am making sure to talk to you. Okay. And it doesn't mean that others can't use this. It's just I created this for our Silver Fox community, okay, with a side hustle. And especially since inflation is so high that those who have retired are only bringing home usually about 50% of what they used to make. Well, inflation being as high as it is, and the cost of living being high as well, does not allow our retirement funds to stretch as much as they could, right? Um, you might also, so you may be receiving a pension, you might also receiving something from Social Security, unless you worked K through 12. If you work K through 12, you don't even have access to Social Security unless you were married to someone who was receiving Social Security or while he worked. And so this is a way to get through. I am suggesting to you that you find a side hustle and you use the money for the side hustle to go ahead and purchase what you will need to start your business legally, and then get moving, get to moving, get going. Let's go. Okay. All right. So the breaks in this session, I'll show you those jobs and then you could take a break if you need to. Then I'm going to show you 4 different ways to start a business or to approach starting a business based upon your needs and your passions. Okay. So whether you're very passionate about something already or whether you have no idea, but you're going to follow a money trail. And then lastly, I will show you some AI resources or artificial intelligence resources to help you to get to where you're going as well. All right. Okay. So I am going to share the document that I would like for us to use. right, and let me just share it now so that you can see it. And again, I have this for purchase if you so choose. Okay, let's get started then. Again, I'm Dr. Dane T. Jones, and I serve as executive director of the Dignity and Direction Group. All right, here are 50 different businesses here in Houston that can pay you up to $2,500 a month. Now, with that $2,500, that's going to be enough to get you started. And when I start showing you the business resources, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Okay, so there are, I think it's 8 different categories of, it's seven. Okay, seven for completion. Okay, 7 different categories of industries that really like to hire senior citizens or our silver foxes. It's grocery stores, retail and craft stores, coffee shops and restaurants, and you don't even have to cook to work there if you're not interested in doing that. Hospitals and medical offices, and note that they have higher pay than the other categories tend to. Senior living and child care services, museums, parks, and cultural organizations. I haven't listed theaters here, but many theaters in the Houston area need house managers as well. They are there to work in the evenings and the weekends to be able to help people to get seated, to make announcements if need to gather data for analytics to turn in for grants. Okay, so house managers are in demand. And then the last category is education and nonprofit. They need part timers as well, and they welcome retirees, especially their own. I'm a partial retiree, and I am working again for a nonprofit where I worked for years. They know who I am, they know my work history, and so when I said I was ready to come back, it was not hard at all to come back. So, yes, lean upon how great you were as well as an employee and see if employees who hired you before might be able to hire you again. Now, you'll need to check in with the organizations that fund you because some organizations that fund you will state that you have a hiring um, an amount of money per month or per year you are not to go over. You'll need to find that out with whatever organization is funding you. You'll need to find that out from Social Security or the wherever you have your pension. If you're working for the same organization, you'll need to find that out from them so that you can know how to handle your money. Unless, of course, you're ready to just say you start your business and your business is making double, triple what you can from, say, Social Security or something. Say you're widowed and they said you had a ceiling. You might say you don't want that assistance anymore. Okay, but check with the authorities at the organizations that fund you so that you can be informed about how to go about this. All right, so now let's go towards the first of our ways to start a business. Okay, so the first way is if you already have a business idea and you believe you can bootstrap it by funding from your part time job. Now, I don't teach funding by taking out loans. Uh, I don't. There are others out there who do. I don't like to talk to people about taking out loans because some businesses take up to 5 years to turn a profit. I just don't believe in having to pay for a business. The business is supposed to pay for itself. So I don't believe in taking out loans for a business. I believe in bootstrapping. But there are other, your business may be so huge that you immediately need materials and machines and a large staff and such. I can't advise you on that. I can only advise you on smaller businesses where you can bootstrap to get them started. Okay. All right. So, say you already have a business idea. Then you've already done number one, where you choose your idea, and then you get to choose your business structure. Many people start with an LLC because these other business structures here tend to be tied to a certain amount of earnings before you explore them. I don't have those earnings here. Um, but if you're interested in knowing those numbers, you can send me an email message from our website, from the About Us tab on the website at dignitieshouse.org, or you can click on my link tree where it says our website, and you can contact me that way, and I can find those numbers for you. So you're going to choose a business structure. More than likely, it will be a limited liability company. And then you're going to register your name with the state. Now, I also filled out a doing business as. It gave me a heads up to be able to know whether or not anyone, at least in the county, if they already had my business name. And that helps so that I wasn't using someone else's name. Okay, and then you will file your formation documents. I'm going to show you a resource later on to tell you where to do that, where it's not as much money to do it. But if you wanted to go through someone like LegalZoom, they're going to be about $600. So you'll take one or two of your paychecks and you just have them do it. They'll take care of everything from the state level to federal, because they'll apply for an EIN number for you, which will be your federal number. And the cost of doing the state paperwork is included in that. The state paperwork for Texas is going to be $300. Therefore, you see now why LegalZoom is about $600. Okay, so you file those formation documents and get that federal EIN number, and then you're going to register for the Texas state taxes through the state comptroller's office. They'll show you how to do that. If your business needs it, you're going to apply for local permits or licenses. Say if you're dealing with food, you're going to need to do that. There has been an upsurge in food trucks lately, so you'll need to research what you'll need for that if you're getting a food truck. Okay, and you're also going to need a business bank account. Business bank account is going to be about $250 for that. Okay, so you've already seen you're going to need at least $300 for the Texas um, paperwork, and you're going to need another 250 for your business account. And when you go to get your business account, you're going to need the EIN, that's that federal ID number. You're going to need to show them your LLC formation document. That's going to also have your state ID number on that as well for your business. You're going to need to see that you registered your business name. And also, they're going to want to see that you have a business address. Hear me, hear me, hear me. Do not use your home address. Do not use your home address for your business address. Okay, I should have said this earlier when we were talking about filling out your formation paperwork. What you're going to consider doing is paying a registered agent, or you can go to it's like a post office type business that has mailboxes, and you will use your mailboxes if it is a suite number, because the state of Texas wants to be able to go to a brick and mortar location to be able to visit you if they need to for business. So you cannot use a post office box um, at a U.S. post office. However, you can use this type of business address, if you will, that is handling your mail, where there's a physical place to go and you can meet there with someone from the state of Texas to do so. You also can pay for a virtual office space. Places like Regus, Regus, will do that, where you're paying them, I think it's about $99 a month for them to collect your mail, and they have a physical address. They have conference rooms. You can pay extra if you want them to answer a phone for you. So they have that. They can take care of virtual office space. But do not put your home address. Do not put your home address as your business address. Okay. All right. So you can open up that business bank account, and you'll get some business insurance, liability insurance. I would suggest you do that after your business is actually bringing in money. If you're not bringing in money yet, like what would you be sued for? Now, you can speak to your lawyer about that, but if you're not dealing with customers yet, you might be able to wait until you're bringing in income from the business to pay for the insurance. Remember, you only want to have to use your part-time job to get the business started, but you want the business to begin to pay for its own expenses as soon as possible. Okay. And so some expenses you take care of because you have to do it to get the business started. Others you then look to see what the business is bringing in so it can begin to pay for its own expenses. All right. And then you would set up your accounting. You would create a brand and start your marketing. And I have some business resource, I have a business resource list to show you to help with getting a logo created, getting a website created. In fact, artificial intelligence will help create a website for you nowadays. It really will. It's awesome and amazing. You will set up social media for your business, and you will look into email marketing. All right. And again, I have some resources to list you for that. Okay. Let's take a breath. We're about to go into the second way to start a business. Okay. If you needed to take a break, this will be the time to do it. You can press pause. And now I'll go ahead and get started. So, what if you don't have a passion yet? What if you're not sure at all, but you just feel or you think that you've got this in you to be able to do something of your own? But you want some direction and how to do it. Well, don't fret. That's what the Dignity and Direction Group is about. We are trying to help to give you direction, to walk on the journey that's for you. So you have your best journey. We are dream whisperers. So whether you've had a literal dream and you'd like to talk to us about that dream when you were slumbering, of what your subconscious is trying to tell you, or whether you saw someone else doing something and you just wanted to try something too, but you didn't think it was what they were doing, but maybe you admired that they were starting something. Well, okay, I'm going to show you a way to do that. And this way, the second way, is by looking at what are called career interest. Okay. The objective here is that you're going to take what's called an interest profiler test. It's free of charge. It's going to ask you about 50 questions, I think. And it's going to give you a category of a list of 6 different categories, okay? And it's going to tell you, based on the answers that you provide, what your top 3 are. And those top 3 are what is called a Holland code, HOLLAND code, a Holland code, okay? Now, I have the instructions written down or typed down here for you, but I am going to show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to open up a website called ONET Online, and I will share this with you. I just want to make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing, okay? So share it. All right. And so, see, here's the profiler that I was mentioning, the ONET interest profiler. And so again, it's going to show you the top 3 of your interest. Okay. I'm going to pull up uh, my top 3, enterprising and social and artistic. And I'll click on go. All right. And so see here how it gives a list of some um, possible careers. Okay. Um, if your list is short, like mine is short, you can subtract one of the types if you like and just use 2 of them. So I'm going to do that. I am going to subtract artistic and see what comes up under enterprising and social. And yes, that list is much longer. Uh, all right. So um, even though this is based on careers, our businesses are about careers, right? Um, what the owner and founder does, what the chief executive officer does, what the chief operating officer does, what the CIO does, who's handling the information technology, what's the chief of staff doing, right? And then what are each of the staff members doing? So all of those are jobs are under careers. And so it's important, right? Okay, so look here where it says training and development managers. That's what I'm doing here. And my business is based off of a career that's natural for me to do. So this is a way to know how to start a business that pertains to your interest. Okay. This is a way to do it because you know that this is something that you're suited for. You, you've taken this assessment. So let me show you some of the great intel that's on this page and on the other pages as well for after you take this test to find out your Holland code. So it is going to show you what the title is and what the title does, and some other synonymous job titles for people who do this. It's going to show you the tasks, the technology skills needed, the work activities, even detailed work activities. It's going to show you some context about what this job entails, such as how much of it is face to face versus email versus telephone conversations. This website divides all the jobs into different job zones. So it's going to show you that this is in a zone where one would need considerable preparation. So at least a bachelor's degree is required in terms of education. And then if you wanted training, you can select your state or your zip code, and it would tell you where to go to obtain the training for it. I love this part. So you don't have to guess. So, see if this is a business you're interested in, you would know where you can go to get training as well as apprenticeship. So, you might want to have a coach or a mentor who already has the type of business that you want to start, and ask them if they can shadow, if you could shadow them and 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 interview them to see what they're doing, to tell you what works, to tell you what doesn't, to see if maybe there is a way to partner in the future once you get started. All right, it's also going to tell you different skills that are needed, and these are usually called employability skills or soft skills. These are skills such as active learning, teamwork, learning strategies, right? It's going to tell you some more about what kind of knowledge you're going to need to obtain for this position, okay? It's going to compare how much education others who work in this field have. And as you see here, 71% of the people who work in this area have a bachelor's degree. They only 21% of them have a master's degree. So you don't have to obtain a master's degree to be able to work in this field. All right. It's also going to give you some characteristics of workers who are already in this field by showing ability, by showing interest. Those interests would be similar to the Holland Code that you revealed. It's also going to show what it's calling work styles, like saying that this person tends to use initiative and be innovative, right, and be social. Now look at this. It is going to show you what kind of salary to expect for if you're working for someone else. Yes? Okay. Now, this is so wonderful because this gives you a ballpark of what you can pay yourself for your business. Now, one of the other ways I'm going to show you on how to build a business is to build a business as a vendor. And if you build a business as a vendor, you would be able to obtain money from a governmental entity to be able to provide the service you have to them if they're in the market for that kind of work. All right. And so this lets you know you can give yourself at least a salary of 127,000 a year by starting your business. Okay, you can make that your goal. All right. And then it also will show us job openings. So if you have no experience in it at all, your part-time job might be in this field so that you can obtain information in it. Just in case you are recreating yourself. Okay? So if you're recreating yourself, then you can look for a part-time job in this field and soak all of that up while you are creating your own business. Right. And I love that. Here are some related occupations to a training and development manager. And then there are also some professional organizations that you can join so that you can also network and obtain a coach or the mentor that I was mentioning to you. All right? Okay, great. Time to take one more break. I'm going to go off camera for just a second. Sorry. Well, hey, thank you for that. I have been battling the flu for over a week. That's why we did not have this session last Sunday. I was still healing and recuperating, but you can't keep a good woman down. And I just really want us to be informed. I want us to have access to every good thing we can have. And that's the mission of the Dignity and Direction Group. It is to expose resources. And so this is a resource you don't even have to pay for. You didn't even have to pay for this online site. It's there already. So you don't have to guess and you don't have to pay. So that's why I am sharing this with you. Okay, so now I'd like to go back to our handout for today that I was sharing with you so that we can move to the third of that shows a way to start a business. All right, so we looked at where you like a checklist to get a business started, what you'll need to do if you already know what you want to do. And then we looked at if you have some interests, but you're not sure what those interests are tied to. So that's a second way to do it by going to the ONET interest profiler. Now let's look at the third approach. Now the third approach, remember I told you that we would be looking at some artificial intelligence help. Well, guess what? There is an application called ChatGPT. And ChatGPT acts like your assistant. It acts like an agent to answer questions for you, to solve puzzles for you. Well, you can get it to give you an outline of a business for you. Yeah, it's that good. And there's a free version of ChatGPT. Now, let me tell you my disclaimer. I am not paid by ChatGPT. I am not an affiliate of any of the AI resources or business resources that I am going to share with you. I don't gain any money from them, at least not yet. um, but again, it's just very important to me to share this information with you so that you can see how to do it. Now, what you could do with ChatGPT is you can upload it to your your device, your laptop, your iPad, your phone, your Android. And these, you're going to ask it 10 different questions. Okay. You'll ask it these 10 questions. You can either use your voice to state the questions, or you can type them in. You can copy and paste them from this PDF if you so choose. So the first prompt is you're going to be asking ChatGPT to generate a business idea. So you're going to ask it a prompt and see that word seasoned, act as a seasoned. That's important because then it is going to include at least, it's going to do a search of at least 10 years of information. It's not going to give you something that's just brand new, somebody just put out there that may not have been verified yet. It's going to go back as if it is one of your professors, one of your business professors. It's going to go back and look at what information is on the World Wide Web dealing with this question. Okay. And so this prompt is asking for a profitable business idea in your city and where you can start with less than $1,000. Now, isn't that something else? Especially since your part-time job may be paying you up to $2,500 more. This means you you might necessarily not have to keep that part-time job for long and start focusing on your business sooner rather than later. All right. You're also going to include some other prompts. You're going to ask it uh, a prompt about business from the skill sets that you already have. And so this is where you're going to have to put in your skills. What are you able to do right now? What are you able to do? What are your abilities in the workplace? What are your abilities? So these skills are different from those interests. These skills are, do you know how to use a laptop to type up documents? Do you know how to create spreadsheets? Are you good at converting complete strangers to be able to purchase something? What are your skills? Okay. And you can even ask ChatGPT to give you a list of, say, 50 skills. So you can go through these skills and then just give them back to ChatGPT. All right. And then now this prompt pertains to our looking at side hustles. And so this third question is about suggesting 5 side hustle businesses that someone could start in the business in the evenings and weekends. So it's assuming that you might have a full-time job right now. And so your side hustle position towards your entrepreneurship should not interfere with your full-time job, right? And then you're going to ask it to do some research on the local market so that you can see if the business is even in demand where you live, and to find out who the target market is and what kind of pricing you should use for that. All right. Now, some of you are going to choose services. Some of you are going to choose products. Some of you are going to choose a combination thereof. It's okay. It's just remember that since there are only so many hours in the day, if you choose to only offer services, you are limiting your finance possibility, right? So you can have full days and customers throughout the day, but there are only so many minutes in an hour, and there are only so many hours in a day. And so my suggestion is you don't limit yourself to services, or if you do, your services may you may need to offer premium services so that your time, you're showing people that your time is worth more than money. Your time is worth more than money. It's for example, it's like when Elizabeth Taylor, an actress from the 1950s, did not want to play Cleopatra. She told the movie producer or director, whoever she was having a conversation with, that she would only do the movie because she didn't want to do it if they paid her $1 million. This was unheard of, especially for an actress at that time, but they paid her $1 million. And so actors today who were paid that amount have Elizabeth Taylor to thank for that, because she figured, if I've got to do something I don't want to do, I should be paid royally for it. Okay. So you can keep that in mind as you are thinking of what your time is worth. Like, what are you giving up by providing the service, right? What are you giving up and what is that worth? Okay. So again, I would suggest you offer service and products so that you have a mixture. Okay. And so then you want to use a prompt for your business plan. Some people will start businesses without a business plan starter, but you need to have a business plan. Your business plan would tell you who your target audience is, who the major players are, who are going to work with you. Um, what is your marketing plan? What is your sales plan? Right? You would even include what's an exit strategy. Like, are you starting this business so that as soon as it's profitable, you can sell it and retire again? What's your exit strategy? So all of that is available um, in you'll put in your business plan. And again, you do not have to hire someone to do that. AI will help you to build a business plan. It will help you to do that. Now, you may need someone's advice to tell you what to tell AI to look for, but you may not. Okay. So, you need a business plan so you know where you're going. It's like a map towards your success so that you can plan what you're doing. All right. Um, and then you're going to have it suggest some business ideas that use some free AI tools, especially if you are working by yourself. And these AI tools will help you to compete with larger companies. And there are some free tools out there, and I'm going to share some of them with you at the end of this presentation. I also want to tell you, though, there are some that are priced for a nominal fee per month. I use a site called Marblism, Marblism. I don't get paid by Marblism. I'm just letting you know I use them. I use Marblism. It's 49. I use their $49 a month plan. They give me 6 employees who are virtual agents who are trained in 6 different areas for my coaching business, and they help me. So, one is social media. Sunny helps to send out daily messages that he crafts for me to put on Facebook. I've got a legal assistant. I've got a sales assistant. I've got a receptionist for phone calls. I have an executive assistant to help with email messages and to sort of organize everything. So I'm to go through my executive assistant, and then she puts the rest of the team to work on my behalf based upon our plans for this year. So just putting that out there, they're not the only service out there. They're just the one that I'm using. It's called Marblism. Okay. All right. And so you can use that prompt to see who has AI. And then if you're like me and you are over the age of 55, um, you can ask it to give a prompt for if you are affected by income and you don't want to do a lot of physical straining, right? Like I don't want to do a lot of physicals. I do not. I do not. Coaching, I do a lot of coaching over Zoom that is not physically straining for me. Sometimes I will set up shop at different nonprofits in the city or at libraries. Library conference rooms are free as long as your business is not charging anything to anyone and allows anyone from the library to come in. You can use libraries to talk about your business. So yeah, so keep that in mind. So I do not like financial strain. Some people are okay doing that, but I am not. Then you're going to ask it about a digital product for your business or a business based upon digital products. So, like for our business, and we sell digital products for each webinar that we create. So, just as I said, we have a PDF available for you for today's webinar. We have two other PDFs available, one for a class called Wealth Whispering, where there are 15 different ways for a person to bring income streams into their household, some of which they don't have to necessarily do work. Um, and then we have another PDF for sale on a dating method called the Mentor Method, which thank you so much for those of you who have reached out for a purchase of that PDF. Thank you so much. Throughout the year, we give away scholarships, and when you buy these PDFs, you are helping us to fund these scholarships. These scholarships go to undergrad students, grad students, and to entrepreneurs who are trying to start their business. So sometimes we give away the $300 to an entrepreneur to pay their state fee to get their tax ID number and their paperwork filed. So keep on purchasing these PDFs. We're working hard for them, and we want to reward our students who are working hard as well. Okay, thank you for that. All right. And then a couple more prompts that you can ask ChatGPT. Ask it to create a uh, now this is for people like me who want to coach, but whatever business you start, you can coach someone else on it. So why might you want to do that? You might want to bring someone else in your family so that your family has more generational wealth, or you may want to coach people in your community so that the money in your community it remains in your community longer than um, the dollar being spent and then it immediately being spent in another community. You're trying to recycle. You're recycling first in your own family, and then you're recycling in your community first. So neighbors who have businesses, church members who have businesses. Make that dollar work first where you know, with people you know. Then let the dollar work outside of your community. Okay. Yeah, then do that. All right. And even when you're investing, if when you're buying stocks and such, let it be from products companies that represent products that you actually use. Start first with you. Start first with you. You are the most special person in your life. First, start first with you and then your family, then your community, then your city, your state, and your nation. Okay? Think first for you. Be self-full, not selfish, self-full, because you are so important. You are so important. It is not an accident that you are here and you have a purpose. So feed your purpose first so that when you pour into others, you're pouring from a full cup, not an empty cup. All right, self-full. Start with you first. Start with you. Okay. And then lastly, you're going to ask it to create a step-by-step checklist. And that checklist is going to be similar to what I have in number one for the first way to start a business. Like if you already know what you want to start. Okay. But that's how you can put ChatGPT to work. Now, ChatGPT has at least one competitor. It's called Claude. I have not used Claude yet, but Claude is making great strides. Um, it probably generates answers faster than ChatGPT. And to be able to do that, there probably was a huge data set to which Claude has access, possible questions and we're talking about millions and millions of elements within this data set, so that Claude would have been pre-trained, so that by the time the public uses it, it's gone through all these different iterations, right, of what people have answered, how people have answered questions before. It can even do text to text kind of learning, usually, where it uses language, where you can ask, how do I say this statement in French? And it will simply tell you. So, but I haven't researched it yet, but I am studying AI. So hopefully the next time I'm in front of you, I'll know a little more about Claude. But right now, ChatGPT has been my friend and has saved me from a lot of extra effort so that I could focus on what human beings are great at, right? So we're doing this. All right. Okay, if you need to take another break, this would be a good time to do so, because now I'm getting ready to go to the fourth way to start a business. The fourth way to start a business. And this way is to create your business based upon government contracts that you already know exist. And this would be to become a vendor, to fill out a vendor contract application with your city or your county or your state or the country. You can become a vendor. Now, what's great about this is you would first start by looking at your city's vendor list, and then to see what different businesses your city needs. And if you are interested in any of those businesses, then you can start your business, get your business plan created, and then fill out a proposal to become a vendor. Now, there are several videos out there and other companies, coaches, and um, uh, consultants who can tell you even more because that is how they fund their businesses. And the beauty of it is, if you follow a money trail, the federal government usually will give money to the state and to the county and to the city. They have to spend their grant money, if you will, the money that they've received for vendor possibilities. So they are looking for businesses to hire, if you will, to help them to solve a problem in our community. Okay? Now, that is part of the reason you're going to start a business anyway. It's not just about passion, it's also about solving problems. What problem are you interested in solving? I'm very interested in helping people fight poverty. And they can do so by having access to starting a business. Because working for someone, when you're an employee, you are limited in how much the employer will pay you. But if you have your own business, you are not limited to those same numbers. Instead, that's a place to start and to obtain training. But then you move over and become a vendor. You actually would be helping the government to solve this problem, whatever this problem might be. Now, you can also ask artificial intelligence, what problems are your state facing? What problems are your state facing? I also suggest to you that you find your state's governor's message. Your state's governor's message will have in the recording what your governor believes are emergency items. Like for the state of Texas, an emergency item is water. For the state of Texas, an emergency item is education, K through 12 education. Okay. And so if you start a business that helps to deal with drought, maybe you have access to those type of machines. Maybe you can sell those machines, or you create a machine that helps to take evaporation from the air and convert it into water, especially in areas that are already dealing with drought and they're very arid already. They're not close to bodies of water, or the bodies of water they had have dried up. What problem are you solving? That's another reason to start your business. So it could be something you just really love to do, it just gives you life to do it, or it's something that you are serious about because it is solving a problem. Maybe the problem affected you or another member of your family. Maybe you're seeing a problem run rampant in your community. So you can use your passion or your pain to start a business. But you want there to be a cross section. You want to make sure there are enough other people with the same pain point who will actually pay money for what you're selling to ease that pain. So you need to know when you're building that business plan, who's the target audience for that pain point and that product that is helping to address that pain point? Who is the target audience? Who is going to purchase what you have? Who's going to do it? That's something you'll want to keep in mind as you are building. And I want to applaud you. You can do this. I believe in your abilities. I applaud you right now. And I say thank you. Thank you for helping us to deal with what is hurting our society. And thank you in advance for hiring other people in your family and in your community. Thank you for that. I thank you in advance for that. I think that's glorious. Now, also you want to consider registering for a small business. So if a lot of people, excuse me, one second, excuse me. I just need to cough again. Hold on one. All right, I apologize for that. So when you start your business and you're able to show business paperwork, your financial paperwork, and I think you need to have been in I think you need to have been in office for 1 or 2 years to be able to register. You want to register either as a minority woman business or a small business enterprise or a disadvantaged business enterprise. And the reason you want to do this is with this type of certification, the government or governmental entities have to reward so many small business certification holding companies per year. And so if you have these certifications, you're making it very easy for the government not only to solve some problems, but to have different representation in our small businesses to solve these problems and receive funding for it. Okay. So be able to do that. And you want to continue to monitor different contracts so that you can have a portfolio. So again, remember, you can apply to the city, different, possibly different agencies in the city. You'll have to ask or check the paperwork to see if there's a conflict of interest. But if you can't apply to more than one for the city, you can apply in different cities. You don't have to only apply where you live. You can apply to cities where you don't live either who have the same problem. Okay. Then you can also apply to counties, then the state, and to federal. Usually federal they'll want to see that you're very solid. You've been around for a few years. They'll want to see that you are indeed solving the problem. You're keeping data, you're supplying data, you're being able to show um, consistency in as you're analyzing what the problem is to be able to apply at the federal level. But you can apply at the federal level. Okay. But I would suggest you start at city level. Now, some of you might want to also be vendors for school systems, ISDs, ISDs, and also for community colleges and universities. And you'll have to see which governmental agency to which they're tied. Like if you wanted to, with a university, they are tied to the state. Community colleges are tied to the state. Okay, so you'll have to see how to go through their websites for the information on how to become a vendor. And on those websites, they will let you know which entity supplies their funding. You'll want to write a proposal. And again, ChatGPT will even help you with the proposal. It will even help you with a budget. You can say to ChatGPT, write a create a budget for this type of um, activity for which I'd like to be a vendor, and create a budget from that, and it will do it for you. And then what you'll want to do is have it break it down even more. Say it'll give you a category called admin and overhead. You're going to want to ask it, what does that entail? So that when you begin, after you receive one of these, um, after you receive one of these proposals, contracts, you will know what kind of receipts you need to turn in, because they want to see receipts, 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 receipts. You need to keep those receipts for every penny spent. Keep those receipts. Yes, you've got to do that. If not, you will not receive another of these contracts. All right. So I'm about 8 minutes over. So I'm going to try to hurry up and finish. Okay. So here are a list of free business resources for different things that you'll need for your business. And then lastly, here are some AI resources. Some of them are free, some of them are not. Some of them have different levels. Like they can start out free for a certain part of the service or product, and it edges up. These are not all of the list. These even just um 2 hours ago, I found another source for a 1-800 number. There are so many business resources available to you. So don't be afraid. You can do this. Again, I applaud you right now in advance for your even doing this at all. All right. And then keep in mind, you can support our ministry um, and illuminate your path by purchasing our PDF for today's webinar called Side Hustles, a Founder Boom, and AI Resources. Okay. All right, until next time, I'm Dr. Dainty Jones, and I hope that this has been beneficial for you. And we'll be back again next week for a webinar called Divorced Dads in Debt. It is to help fathers have a financial plan of handling child support in a dignified manner. Okay. Blessings, blessings, blessings.